I'm Diana with RGB Filter, and we're here with Anthony Del Cole and Scott McCreery, the creators of Kill Shakespeare. Hey guys, thanks for talking to us. All right, now last I heard, last year you were talking about how the movie had been optioned for a film, maybe. And then earlier this year, there was talk about how you wanted to produce it yourselves, and you couldn't decide if movie or TV show. Are there any developments either way?
Well, no, we haven't signed an option with anyone. We've received a lot of interest in Hollywood and here in Canada and the UK to adapt this into a feature and or television series. But no, we haven't actually signed with anyone. We have received another round of funding here in Canada from the Harold Greenberg Fund to develop the screenplay.
Thank you, taxpayers. We appreciate your money.
So the two of us are actually working on the next draft, and we'll have that done in the next few months, and then see what comes out of that.
All right, now you're getting a bunch of Hollywood offers. How do you decide to do this yourself instead? That's got to be a hard decision.
Well, I mean, at this stage, what we're really looking to do is we want to do it ourselves to a certain point. I mean, part of the trick is figuring out when to bring in people who have the right expertise. If you go too quickly, you lose control of the project. If you wait too long, maybe it doesn't happen. So at this stage, Anthony has already produced 2 feature films in his career. He's very well versed in how to make a film. He knows what to do. So we're lucky. We can just kind of follow along behind him until we get to that level where somebody says, "Hey, we've got a lot of money. We want to make this into a Hollywood feature, or we want to do a partnership between Canada and the UK." So there's a lot of options. But yeah, we just want to make sure we stay, in control of the property for as long as we can until eventually somebody with a really big pockets comes in and writes a check.
Yeah. And we've been fortunate. We've had a lot of great partners along. Oh, sorry. A lot of great partners that
settle
work
down there, Bumpy.
Well, I'm just excited about all these properties. I mean, just
Rabbit season.
Duck season. Rabbit season. Duck season. Shoot! You're despicable. Sorry, we were saying.
What were we talking about? Oh no, yeah, no. We already have a number of great partners on board, both financing-wise, and I mean the Sundance Film Festival or Sundance Institute down in LA has been great. We took part in a huge New Frontier Story Lab, a transmedia lab last October in Utah, which was fantastic. And the whole point of that was just to help develop Kill Shakespeare to the next level. So both in film, in game, in comic, and theater, everything else. So I mean, it's great. We're very fortunate that we have so many people excited and so many people on board already.
I've heard you're actually doing something really interesting at Montreal Comic-Con. You're having a live reading, play production of the script?
That is correct. We last year we actually put on Kill Shakespeare, the stage play in November. We did it with Soul Pepper Theatre here in Toronto, which is one of the best theatre companies in the whole country. And so that went over so well, we had other places saying, "Hey, well, can we do the same thing? We'd love to put on your stage play." And so yeah, it's going to be in Montreal, it's going to be at New York Comic-Con, it's going to be at HalCon. We're taking it to Chicago, to Rochester, to Tucson, Arizona. It's probably going to be in Dubai. And actually at Halifax it's going to be neat because we're actually going to play it not just for a Comic-Con audience, we're going to run it for a full week in Halifax. So it'll be open to anybody in Halifax who wants to come and check it out. And so yeah, it's just kind of fun.
Do you know where you're performing in Halifax?
The Bus Stop Theatre.
Oh, I know it.
Yeah. And so the way we do it is we take all the images from the series and we put them on a giant screen. And then the actors actually perform like it was a radio play. So they do all their lines on stage, reading from their scripts. They do all their Foley. We've got a little guy with a piano playing it. And then Anthony's the slide monkey.
Oh, yes,
so
I'm the slide monkey.
So it's literally live comic books.
Yeah, no, it's great because it's hybrid. I mean, it brings a comic book to life. It's like a radio play performed live. I mean, it's a really interesting theatrical experience.
No, I've never heard anything like that.
You'll laugh, you'll cry. It won't be bigger than Cats, but it'll be like the same size as Cats. Like
with less cats.
Yeah, like it'll be like 4.5 pounds.
Yeah.
About 4.5 pounds, I think. Hairballs.
Our inspiration was Spider-Man the musical, so all the actors actually just come in from the sky and are parachute into the theater.
Well, nobody's
no, not die.
I mean,
they're
decapitated doesn't mean dead, right? You can live with that head, right?
I mean,
no problem.
There's 2 people in a coma still, but I mean, we have high hopes that they will.
I hear comas are very pleasant, actually.
I wish I was in a coma right now.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, thanks, guys. Okay. No, I've heard you say earlier.
You're going to be editing this, right?
Up to them. I got no say.
So you're not going to fix this in post then?
You'll have to talk to these guys.
There are no guys here. You're just a woman holding a microphone that's connected to nothing, which is really weird and a little creepy.
God.
I didn't want to say anything because you seem really nice, but
I know,
please
right? I'm adorable.
don't wear my face as a hat.
Don't break my facade.
It reminds me of my past. I used to do that all the time.
Facade down.
All right. My actual question was,
Oh.
I heard you say one time before that you actually had a fan kind of contribute a story about what the Hamlet knife.
Yes, yeah.
And have you ever? Oh, there we go. Right there.
Oh.
You mean
no,
this whole thing?
But you're talking about the story, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. At the back of our first volume, we actually had a creative team,
Kill
Owen
Shakespeare.
Craig and Curtis Westman, that actually wrote a 5-page story called A2 Hecate, which is all about the origins of the dagger from Kill Shakespeare, because there's a magical dagger that plays a huge role. And so what this does is actually traces that dagger through all of Shakespeare's productions, dating or going all the way back to the death of Julius Caesar. So yeah, and so I mean, and then in the second volume we had Tom Waltz, who actually is our editor at IDW. He contributed a different story as
All right,
well.
I was going to say, any other fan contributions?
I mean,
after that?
if and when, and we can't make any news official yet, but if we do continue on and do a third volume, which may or may not happen, yeah, I mean, we will probably most likely be adding additional fan content like that, and that's one of the great things. That's what we're trying to do with Kill Shakespeare, because I mean, this is our first comic book series, so we want to be able to give that sort of opportunity to others and get them incorporated into the whole Shakespeare world and the whole Kill Shakespeare universe as we're trying to create it.
And, you know, one thing we may or may not be announcing is another series of competitions for people to get their artwork in the back of comics that may or may not be being written or drawn as we speak.
Emphasis on may or may not, by the way.
May or may
I'm not sure if you caught that.
Thank you for may or may not letting us know.
That would be a good name for
We don't want to have to
character.
kill you.
I'd like to see you try.
And this is actually a fan. This was created by a fan of ours,
Wayne Ning?
Yeah, he put
Wayne
this
Newton?
together.
No, Wayne Ning.
This
is actually the second one of these that he's built for us.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. Conor threatens me with it every day.
Right, so this book's gotten great critical appeal, but has anyone ever come up and been like, hey, you're destroying Shakespeare? We don't... Any negative naysayers?
At conventions, no. I mean, because at conventions, I mean, people are generally quite nice. So, I mean, we haven't had anyone with the real guts do it in person yet.
Okay.
I am shaking my head. I want to cry. I want to bitch slap whoever was involved with creating it. Scholar Kimberly Cox. Kimmy Cox actually turns out to be Frank Miller's girlfriend. She also mentioned that the comic was bullshit, 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 and then it made her throw up in her mouth.
She said that 3 times.
There you go.
Yeah. So no, we have had some critics, but I mean, for the most part,
Only one death threat.
Only one death. Yeah, but that was me threatening your life.
Oh,
so,
yeah. I forgot about that. Was funny. Actually, I was in hospital for a week.
Actually, what was great was we attended the Shakespeare Association of America annual conference. Say that 7 times fast.
You've been practicing, I can tell.
Exactly. Annual conference back in April in Boston. And what was great was, I mean, we were kind of afraid that there would be some critics or some academics that would be like, I'm not a huge fan. I don't really like what you're doing. But actually, it turned out we were rock stars at the event. I mean, yeah, with the
you're making awareness of Shakespeare.
Exactly.
Because he looks like Buddy Holly.
That's true. And yeah, so
Experience love Buddy Holly.
They do.
That's true.
Sorry.
I miss Buddy Holly.
And the Big Bopper. But no, people actually, it turns out that, I mean, people who actually really love Shakespeare and spend their lives immersed in Shakespeare, Shakespeare's been adapted since Shakespeare wrote it. Shakespeare adapted his own plays. He changed them all the time. So anybody who really loves Shakespeare, not anybody, but most people who really love Shakespeare, they see something like this, they see Shakespeare in Love, they see 10 Things I Hate About You as part of the way of keeping Shakespeare alive and vital, and paying respect to Shakespeare, not as some sort of thing that attacks him. And every once in a while, yeah, you get somebody who's kind of stuck and they believe, as Anthony likes to say, that, Shakespeare's a bunch of old men in tights saying, come hither, Titus. But mostly, that's not an issue.
So Kill Shakespeare's been finished for a while. Maybe Volume 3 is coming out. Any other projects on the go, either of you? Or just Kill Shakespeare, Kill Shakespeare, Kill Shakespeare?
Kill Shakespeare takes up so much time these days. I mean, because there's may or may not be work on another series. We have the feature film, as we discussed. We have the stage show. We've just actually done some polishing, and we're getting ready to show that in 5 venues this fall. And actually, we've just received funding to do a prototype for an enhanced graphic novel and a mobile game for Kill Shakespeare.
So Kill Shakespeare, Kill Shakespeare.
Well, actually, Anthony's being a little modest because he's not only has he pitched actually a lot of very interesting projects to some publishers who've approached him and are interested in seeing him take on some other characters perhaps out there, but he recently has brought a television show to the NSI here in Canada. So he's got a lot of things on the go.
You look like a man who's too modest. It's a good thing you're here.
I try. Yeah, no. So lots of stuff on the go. I just read the coattails. It's comfy. They're very comfy coattails.
Oh, she's got everything written down here.
I'm okay.
Is that Comic Sans font?
It's whatever iPhone. No, it's not iPhone.
Samsung, are those allowed now?
It's whatever Android.
I think Apple wants that back.
It's not
It's
an
Samsung.
iPhone.
You're not
I'm
allowed
lying.
to have those anymore.
I'm lying about what it is.
No, it's patent infringement. Look, you've got corners. That's definitely a patent infringement there. I mean, it's definitely worth $1
You're not
billion.
allowed to have corners.
That's definitely worth $1 billion.
No
right
corners.
there. Anyway, sorry. In the news.
All right, if movie TV happens, ideal casting, any of the characters. Who do you want?
Well, I'm going to star as
Canadian?
Hamlet.
You're gonna. Okay.
I'm going to star as Hamlet. No, I mean, we floated all sorts of names around.
Just ideal, not anyone
Ideal,
top.
all right.
Or has anyone ever shown interest? Anyone been like, hey, I'd like to do that?
We've had a lot. Well, we have had actors express interest, but I mean, no one on like the A-list or anything yet. I mean, Julianne Moore would be great for Lady Macbeth. I'm a huge fan of Ryan Gosling, so I think he'd be great as Hamlet. Emma Watson from the Harry Potter series for Juliet. Who was the ultimate? We had an ultimate Falstaff there for a while. Which one was it? Paul
John Rhys
Giamatti.
Davies?
Paul Giamatti maybe for Falstaff. Trying to think. We actually really like to do some stunt casting with
Idris
Shakespeare
Elba.
as well.
Idris
Elba
yeah,
as Othello.
Idris Elba, yeah. Jamon Hansu
Kenneth
for
Branagh
Othello.
in there
Yeah.
somewhere?
Ewan McGregor perhaps as Shakespeare. I like Alison Pill for Juliet, but I like to support the Canadians.
So yeah,
Well, they're supporting you. Makes sense.
that's
true.
The great thing about this is, I mean, because it's Shakespeare, and I mean, it's kind of, I think we're going to have a lot of luck finding actors that want to kind of sink their teeth into redefining Hamlet or Lady Macbeth or Juliet for a whole new generation. So, yeah, I think we'll be able to get a lot of actors interested in it.
All right. Big question for the last
Big
one.
question.
Big
Uh-oh.
question.
This is gonna make me
it's
cry?
Broad.
This is
No,
gonna make me cry?
nothing like that. Just you're kind of the epic tale of indie success. Any advice
Wow.
for others? Don't get caught up. Don't get caught up in the word epic.
Treat it as a business. I mean, really, I think a lot of creative people, there's this sense that the business aspect is either too hard to do or somehow you're selling out if you're trying to think of like, who am I going to sell to? I mean, isn't that the goal, is to sell out? You want to sell out all your books, you want to sell out of all your t-shirts, you want to sell out of everything you're doing because that means people like you. So yeah, think about marketing, think about branding, and try to come up with a business. We came up with a business plan first after we came up with the idea. We didn't actually flesh out the idea and start the real heavy work of writing until we had a business plan and we knew that we had people on board who were going to support us. Because we thought, hey, if we can't get people saying, yeah, your idea is good, then why should we spend our time on it? And if you've got a good idea, you will be able to get people on board. And every practice you do of getting somebody to back you as a business person makes it that much easier to help sell your book to the fans, because you know what you're about and what you're doing.
No, that's great. That's exactly what I would have said.
And brand,
and be persistent. I mean, because it's really tough. I mean, whether it's comics or film or fine art or any sort of arts medium. I mean, it's really difficult to break in. So I mean, you just got to be persistent. Like, you're going to have, for every person that says yes, you're going to have 10 to 100 people that say no. Just have to learn to just
even
keep
at
going at
conventions,
it. Yeah.
right? I mean, it's a numbers game. We say hi. We try to say hi to everybody, and that's actually the thing, is smile and say hi to people. It's amazing how many people will come to conventions. They've got their head down, and either they don't want to bother somebody or it's tough for them. But that's one of the tricks. You got to try to push through that, and you just say hi and ask them if they want to read your book. And if they don't want to, they'll say no. But you get tons of people who just you start talking to them, and then they're into it.
That's fantastic. Thanks for all the information on what may or may not be happening in your future.
May or may not. You're welcome.
And good luck. All the best to you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.